Bro, we were just talking about this, dude. Like, genuinely, I'm pissed. I'm pissed if they don't do anything with the high mountain stuff, and I lost out on like potentially 3.5 to 4% or 4.5% EXP and all those fragments and the soul Urda. I'm pissed. If they don't do shit, I'm pissed.
Okay, do you actually think? Because I mean, they said in like multiple announcements that like actions will be taken, and they're discussing it. Like, I don't expect like permas or like hard like bans, obviously, but like surely they do like something, right?
Well,
Like they're making it a point to say that they're like taking actions.
Hear me out. So, what I heard yesterday. Oh, there's another MVP JJ, channel 16. Go, 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 go. But from what I heard yesterday, two things. Number one, I heard that apparently, like, let's talk about the fragment stuff first with the weeklies.
I mounted actually bugged because I saw people were saying MPEs bugged, but then it turned out that wasn't the case.
No, that was a debate. That was a debate. The high mountain thing apparently was real.
Was real.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So the fragment stuff, right? There's like two trains of thought, in my opinion. Number one, apparently this was the case but last week. Apparently, if you just relogged and you relogged in again, you can claim the fragments and you could buy out the shop. According to people last week, this was the case. I don't know if that's true, but that's what people have told me.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. And then the other thing, number two, is if this was the case, and if they didn't do anything, and if there was no emergency like, oh, let's fix these things, then why would they do anything to those players who abuse the fragment stuff, like with the weeklies, bosses? But that's like number one. That's like first strike, right? The second thing is the high mountain shit, right? Now, I don't know if this is true. Well, I don't know. I know it's true because I know people did it, but I don't. People were also saying, for example, right? You can reset the shop somehow, and then you can buy. You can keep buying out symbols, and like you can keep buying out flames. I don't know if that's true or not, but to me, that's like way bigger of a deal. Because could you imagine having infinite flames, infinite symbols for every relog in the span of like 2.5 hours before they did anything? That's like,
there's like no way that's true, right? Surely.
Well, that's what I heard.
Surely.
Like, that's why, hey man, I don't know.
I mean, that's what people are saying. Yeah, I get that, but like, dude, there's like, I feel like that's so beyond like.
I feel like it's crazy too, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it because you know how screenshots and the propaganda with
yeah, like there would be a video of something
photo evidence.
It, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? But the thing is like, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, like people are saying it, I guess.
Yeah, who knows? Like, this might be the case, and if it is the case, all I'm saying is I am jealous. I am so jealous, bro. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying, JJ. Knowing Nexon, like this shit could happen, bro. And if it does happen, right? Like if this shit is the case and it is real and blah 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 blah. Oh my god, I'm so, you know how pissed I am, Harry, if they don't do shit about it? Oh my god,
dude.
I'm pissed. Imagine.
I'm not pissed. I expected them to do a rollback. So what I did was, when that shit was going down, I was doing my Cernium daily on my bishop, which takes like a long time because it's not one-shotting because it doesn't have sack. But like, I was doing my Cernium daily, and then like, by the time I finished, people were like starting to get scared, and there was like the announcement that they might like take actions.
Yeah.
So and then we had like JJ and I had calling, so I just like relogged and I did calling. And then like by the time we were done with calling, like that shit was in like full force, you know, like everybody was like conspiracy theorying, and so I just like logged out because I was like, okay, well they might roll back.
Yeah.
So I just like, after calling, I pretty much just like logged out and went to bed. And then I woke up and saw that like they're like discussing further action or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I'm not pissed. Like, I had the chance to abuse. Like, I was online and everything. Like, I could have done it. I just didn't. But I don't know if, like, you guys were playing during Maple Relay.
I think I was, yeah. Remind me, what was that again?
Do you remember the Maple Relay? Wait, JJ, do you remember the Maple Relay bug?
Was it the thing with I don't remember. I actually don't remember.
Okay, so there was a event called Maple Relay. Like, this is years and years and years ago. That's why I asked, because like I didn't know either of you back then, so I didn't know if you were playing. It was basically like Hot Time. They've done a couple of them, but this one, the original, like, or I don't know if it's the original, but there was a very early one where I think this one was maybe 2018, 2017, where, and I think this is where they started giving out fake weapons. Like this, I think this was the very first event with like a fake
Abso.
Yeah. Anyways, so this event was basically like a Hot Time. Like you would log in, and like after a certain number of hours or like certain number of mob kills, you would get like a reward. And it was like a random box, kind of like Hot Time or whatever. But there was a bug where you could like infinitely claim those boxes, and those boxes, the reason it was like such a big deal is because those boxes had maple points in them.
Oh yeah, okay, now I remember.
And then, also there were meso pouches and like some other things, but the big things were the maple points and the meso pouches. And they issued temp bans for those. They issued like 1 week to like 1 month, I want to say. I don't think anybody got, I think only like the biggest abusers got like perma'd, or I don't even know if there was permas. But
I think there was. I remember there was with certain people, and I remember a certain person in Ethereal. They were like advocating to get this guy unbanned. I remember.
This event, like, because like that event, like I feel like the meso pouches, like yeah, it's like kind of a big deal, but the like maple points is like what Nexon did not want you like duping. You know what I mean? Because that's actually like money.
Yep, it's actually like you're fucking cutting into their bottom line. You know, like come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So, like this event, you're not affecting their bottom line, I want to say. So it's like I don't really know if the situation is like comparable, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know like if they're gonna do anything. I don't really care if they do or don't. I mean, I personally hope my friends don't get like banned or anything. But if you know, I have to be kind of like impartial, right? Like if they broke the rules and did it, then I can't really be upset that they're like banned, because it's kind of like, I was thinking personally, what I don't know if I'd like to see them do this, but I think it would be overall good for the game, is I think they should ban for this, personally.
Okay, when you say this, what do you mean? Do you mean the high mountain shit? Do you mean the
like
fragment shit?
All the exploiting, like both. I think not perms, obviously, like I don't want perm, but at least like a 3-day, like, because I think they need to warning shot the community. Because you know, like, how many bugs get exploited and then they just, like, either brush it under the rug. They don't really, like, punish everybody. You know what I mean? Like, only certain people get punished and then some people get away with it, and it's kind of, like, iffy. You know what I mean? Like, who gets away with it and who doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like they need to issue a warning shot and, like, make an example of this.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Like, so, I, like, agree with you in certain aspects, right? Like they probably should do something like that. The temp bans would be cool, but like two things immediately come to my mind. Number one, if you temp ban people who were doing the high mountain shit, like just the temp ban, that's like getting away with highway robbery and getting slapped on the wrist.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's like Maple Relay, right? Like but the Maple Relay was random. But I feel like this time they can do something more like methodical, you know, and actually like, you know, depending on the severity of like the bug abuse, like you would get like a longer ban, of course. But I think they need to like show that, especially now that like they made a big deal about Inkwell being like this guy, he's gonna like come and be our director and whatever, right? I feel like they need to make like a strong statement. Is like, okay, like I understand we let like a lot of this shit slide in the past, and it was like kind of 50-50 on whether or not we didn't really communicate it well, but now that I'm here, like, I want everybody to know that, like, I'm not gonna let this shit fly. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
And
right.
from now on, like, we'll issue a temp ban now, like 3 days or whatever, you know, depending on the severity. But from now on, like, you guys know, like, I will not be letting this shit slide. You will get banned if there's, like, evidence of bug abuse or whatever. Like, it's obviously against TOS, and we shouldn't have to tell you that. And we let you get away with it for a long time because, you know, we were retarded.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
That's our fault.
ultimately all their fault. Yeah.
Yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, it's not the, I mean, it is the player's fault for, like, exploiting, but it's the company's fault that it's even in the game in the first place.
Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
now that Inkwell's here and he's gonna do all this shit for GMS, like, we want you guys to know, like, if you abuse bugs like this,
You're getting fucked.
like, gain an advantage, yeah, like, we're gonna fuck you and
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I think they need to do.
Here's my second thing that I said, like, that comes to mind.
Yeah.
How do you feel, like, let's just say hypothetically, right? How do you feel about someone saying to you, okay, well, Harry, like, I relogged and I got the fragments so that, like, the weekly fragment coins or whatever, so that I can buy out the shop from the weekly shop. How do you feel about someone saying to you, like, hey, I was gonna buy all those things regardless. The only thing is now I just have them, like, months in advance. Like, what if someone told you that?
I understand that. Like, you're not getting anything extra. Like, for sure, I agree with that. It's obvious. But, I mean, at the same time, you're literally, like, a bug exploit is a bug exploit. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
there's
you're
no...
right. Cheating is cheating.
Like, yeah, cheating is cheating. It doesn't matter whether or not you're getting, quote-unquote, like, more far ahead or less far ahead. Like, that's what I mean by they need to make a statement, right?
Right.
They just need to say, like, it's not okay, period.
Right.
Like, whether or not, like, if it's a mistake and you're gonna use it to, like, your advantage, like, for example, the 60% Star Force, like, I don't really think anybody got banned or anything for that, right?
No, fuck no,
But
it's their fault.
They let so many people get away with it, right? Including me, as someone who got away with it. Like, I'm saying this, right? So it's not like I'm sitting here because I'm, like, pissed off or anything. I literally benefited from using multiple bugs. Yeah, like, I literally cheated by doing that. So
yeah. So the other thing, yeah. The other thing too that I was just thinking of, right, is like, yeah, it's just like so many instances of like stuff like this has like happened in the past, but in reality, right, like the only time people care about this shit is when they get caught. Yeah. Like, there are so many things that, like, just go under the radar. Oh my god. The biggest thing that comes to my mind is Threads of Fate. How many people... Yes. Dude,
like, I'm pretty sure it's not intended for you to get herb pouches, like, guaranteed every single... Like, I'm pretty sure being able to reset the NPC is a bug.
It probably is, but I also will probably say... Fuck it. Clever use of game mechanics.
No, 100%. Like, it's their fault for keeping it in the game. Like, Threads of Fate is just, like, everybody knows how to do it. Yeah, like, there's hundreds of, like, guides and shit on how to do it. And, like, if you think about it, you have to literally either go to some random-ass map that cancels, like, NPC text, or just hard quit the game to, like, reset the prompt. Like, you're not... supposed, like, because if you were supposed to be able to cancel the prompt, they would just let you exit the prompt by hitting escape or something.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's not intended for you to be able to reset the NPC. But
right.
I mean, like, obviously everybody abuses it to their benefit. It's like, I mean, I'm happy it's in the game, right? I mean, I'll use fucking Threads of Fate as long as it's in the game. I don't give a fuck.
Yup.
Pretty sure it's just not supposed to be there, but...
And I hope it stays in the game for as long as possible, because I'm trying to get mine.
Actually.
I'm trying to get mine, baby. I'm trying to get as many WAPs as I possibly can, get as much money as I possibly can, because this game is more funny and more fun when there are bugs in the game that I can abuse, and I'm not gonna fucking get shot by the blicky in the back of the head for.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm down for there to be bugs to abuse, but I also think, like, from Nexon POV, and honestly, for, like, the overall good of the game in general, like, I think it's better for them to say, like, you know, we're gonna like start actually punishing you.
We're gonna start cracking down on this fucking
Not
shit.
even, like, cracking down, just like, you know, if there's a bug that's giving you an unfair advantage, we're just gonna fucking ban you for it.
Okay, the other question I have to ask, because this is just how my brain works. How do you feel about, because this shit was going on for at least 2.5 hours minimum last night, right? With the fragments and also the high mountain stuff, right? So how do you feel about the fact that, do you think, like, from like a Nexon POV, if 60% of the people online last night on Reboot Maplestory and GMS as a whole, if 60% of people took advantage of all that shit, would you temp ban all, like, would you 3-day ban all those people? Fuck it? Or do you think...
I mean, it's so hard to say. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where you have to take like a short term, like
measure?
like for the very, like, you have to make a decision that fucking sucks in the short term,
but it's good for the long term.
Yeah, because, dude, like, there's no way you want to sit there as Nexon and, like, just keep the status quo where people are abusing bugs and, like, progressing because of it, and then they just, like, get away with it.
To be fair, like, let's be fair, right? That has been the case for multiple things that have already happened in the game. Like, for example, look at Epic Familiars. Like, we know Epic Familiars, when they came out, and, you know, there were maps like Junior Boogies, Fairies, the Snakes in Edelstein or whatever. Like, we know that this shit was, like, bugged, and it was dropping Epic Familiar cards, and we also know that there were 30 Kanas in these maps, kill stealing everybody, right? We know this, and in reality, right, it took a weekend for them to do anything, but the people who were taking advantage of it over the weekend got basically infinitely ahead. I was just talking about this with James. Like, they basically got infinitely ahead, right? So, like, on one hand, right, if, like, let's just take that example, right, with the boogies and stuff. Nexon can't do, like, Nexon did do a rollback. They did roll back familiars, but some people still had hybrids. So did it matter in the long run? No.
Not really. Dude, I mean, yeah, to that example, like, I abused boogies for maybe a couple hours tops. And, like, my familiar, like, I have 100 boss, right? Like, dude.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
Like, that's not even, like, farming the entire weekend, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Like, it was in the game for a long time. And, but even someone like me who only abused it for, like, a couple hours, I am still so far ahead of, like, so many players because of that bug. And they, like, a lot of them in the current system would take, like, thousands of hours to catch up because, like, 100 boss is just, like, so hard.
I mean, think about it this way, right? I was talking about this with some guildies of mine like a week ago. 100 boss damage, like 100 flat boss damage as a whole on your familiars alone is essentially like having one extra link skill page.
Dude, it's having it's having a fucking secondary cubed for 3-line boss. Right,
exactly. It's essentially so like you take the 12, and it's actually less. Like, for example, if you factor in AB link and every single damage percent increase on your link skills, that I'm pretty sure, I haven't done the math in a while, but it's basically amounts to like a little bit over 120% if you factor in AB link, if I'm not mistaken, for most classes, right? Because obviously there's certain classes, like you take Cadena, for example. Cadena has the unfair advantage link skill already, or you have Demon Avenger and Demon Slayer with like their respective thingies, right? Yeah. So obviously, like, that's like a thing. But if you think about bossing familiars as a whole, you can get just insane damage. Like, you can just gap people from the fact that you have hybrid fams, right? And I was just talking about this with James, right? Like, people can make the argument that it is something that was game breaking, and it is something that allows people like you to gap other phantom players in the sense of like damage and your gear score and everything, right? But on the flip side, did it allow you to do content? Like, this is just always where my brain goes. Did it allow you to do content in the game that it wouldn't allow you to do? Like those broken familiars? In my humble opinion, no. Because I always think... For you, maybe. Maybe.
Like, class is so weak. Without those fams, like, I don't even know if I would have contributed to BM. Like, unironically, I think it pushed me over the edge for BM.
Maybe. That's probably
like,
true.
On the first runs, before, like, damage cap removal, like, dude, like, the old benchmark was, 3 trill a minute in the boss, and I was barely doing that.
And then you got familiars, and then would you look at that? You probably were doing, like, close to 4.
No, I mean, I had fams the whole time. Like, with fams, I was at, like, 3 trill, basically.
I see, I see.
Like, not strong at the time, so, like, if you took them away from me at the time, like, I probably would not be able to contribute meaningfully to, like, a black mage party. Like, if they took them away. So, I mean, I can understand, like, yeah, maybe it didn't push a lot of people over the edge, but for people like me, dude, like, yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Like, it definitely did.
Yeah.
Like, familiars are so broken, dude. And like, just go do a BA, unequip your secondary, and like do another BA. It's like obviously not even gonna be close, right?
Right.
So, and 100 boss on fams is like rolling a 40-30-30 secondary. Which is
You're
like,
right.
I mean, you consider 40 boss is what, like, maybe like 4-ish% final or something. And then 30 boss is maybe like, I don't know, it's just like napkin math, maybe just say like 3%, so it's like 10% final damage that you just gain out of nowhere.
Yep.
Maybe more. Like,
dude, it's just crazy how, like, yeah, no, like, a lot of these systems in the game, they're just so impactful. And let's be honest too, like, the other thing that is like just another big major thing that jumps to mind is a lot of people back in the day were taking advantage of duping droplets and duping meso from the storage shenanigans with like the laggy channels and the the server maintenances and stuff.
Server rollbacks and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So like you think about all that shit and then you think about the context of the time where these things were happening. Bro, if you duped 200 droplets in fucking 2019, you literally have just like beaten the game. Like, yeah, like, and you think about how like impactful some of that stuff is. There is validity to like saying like this shit is game breaking, but there's also validity to saying, hey, if I keep playing the game consistently, and no one wants to hear this shit, but this is just where my brain goes to. It's like, if I keep playing the game consistently, I'll be able to farm those 200 droplets. It's gonna take a fucking shit ton of time, but
I mean, that's the unfair part, though. I mean, I think that is the part that I think people do realize that, and that's why they're mad. It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's like, why should I have to farm?
Like,
just because I can farm 200 droplets doesn't mean I wouldn't rather just dupe 200 from storage, you know?
Right, exactly. Like, how's that even? Yeah. How's that even remotely like in the same like realm?
Terrible,
you know?
Yeah. Like I've 200 hours, right? 1 droplet an hour to get these 200 droplets. These guys do it in 20 seconds.
Right, exactly, yeah. I mean, hey man, I mean, going back to familiars, right? Like, I feel like I'm the prime example of that shit, where literally the familiar situation in the game literally like broke me. Like, I spent so, like, I talk about this. I mean, I'm gonna just talk about it now. Like, I talk about this with like hella friends of mine back in Savages, because they used to ask me like, Zane, why do you have shitty familiars? I thought you've been playing the game for like a really long time. And I always told them, yeah, I was playing the game for a really long time. But the thing is I was playing the game like relatively casually, in terms of like, I was still doing my Lucid and Wills from like back in those days when those bosses were like hard, and I was still trying to get into like H Lomian and like doing all that stuff, right? I had my own parties and stuff like that. But the thing is I was one of those people that was a college graduate, and then I was just trying to focus on like the new jobs and like the fucking people that I was hanging out with. So I would play Maplestory and I would fucking go out, or I would play Maplestory. This is what I always tell, like, I would always tell like Andrew this, for example. Like, I remember I used to fucking like go out, go to work, come back home, Spanish keyboard with my Kana, and I would turn on Pocket Stream. Like literally, that was my day.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, like that was literally my day. And when people were farming familiars, I didn't have time because I was focused on my new job and all this other bullshit. I didn't have time to be like, hey, Zane, like maybe we should farm familiars for like these Odas and these boogies. And the funny thing is, speaking of, Odas literally were in the game for like how the fuck long? And I didn't even farm those, bro. I didn't farm Odas because I thought to myself like, do I want to do this or do I want to just, you know, turn on Pocket Stream, turn on the Spanish keyboard, and then just keyboard farm and not really like do much, and maybe I got some extra work to do from work and I'll just fucking do that shit and then I'll go to bed and I'll reset the day and like that's it. That was like my life. And then, you know what happened? COVID happened. I quit my job. I started playing more Maplestory, and literally when all that happened and familiars were gone and they got disabled, I remember thinking to myself, man, you know, man, maybe I should have fucking farmed those familiars, because now I'm gonna have to farm them myself. And in reality, farming them yourself is fucking ass. And I farmed that shit myself on my Chronos account, and all I got to my name was 60% boss damage and 75% like 3 months after I quit the game because I was so burnt out. So
yeah, it's so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean, like, familiars, I don't know if it was a bug. Like, I think they just didn't realize how OP epic familiars are. Because
yeah,
I think they just didn't realize how broken it was, and so they're just like, oh, like, these mobs will drop them, and it's like, whatever. And then they realized, like, pretty soon after, obviously, like, wait a second, like, people are just finishing the entire system in one night, pretty much. And then they disabled it. So I don't think it's like on the same level as something like this, where it's like literally obviously just like clearly a bug. And there's not really like a gray area. Like it literally says in the game you can claim these fragments like once a week or whatever. And like you have to kill them, and like people are just like claiming them by relogging. So that's what I mean. Like I just feel like they should have been temping for bug abuse back then, but obviously it's one of those things. The best time to do something was yesterday. The second best time is today, right?
Right.
They just gotta start.
Right. No, you're right.
Let people know that, hey, like, we let this get away for a long time, and, you know, it is our fault. Like, we're not blaming you guys for bug abusing, right? Like, I would not blame anybody for bug abusing. If it's in the game, take advantage of it. But from now on, with our new director that we like made a big deal about bringing over,
new director chills.
New director, like he's making a whole bunch of changes to the game, like from the ground up. We're gonna like treat GMS differently from KMS, like blah blah blah. Want to let you guys know, like under his rule, like we're not gonna let this shit fly anymore.
G's, they're hammering down, boys. Look out!
From now on.
Yeah.
That's what I think they need to do. Will they do it?
Nah, we'll see.
We'll see. But I feel like they are gonna do something. I just don't know what.
Yeah, but hey, we'll see. Whatever comes to fruition, whenever, you know, this shit like comes around. And I'm still saying it to this day, bro. Like, bro, I'm telling you right now, on like little secret, like my dad works at Nexon, and he told me when Cernium familiars come out, there's gonna be epic familiars at Ramparts 2. Don't tell anybody though. That's all I'm saying.
True.
But
no,
yeah,
like,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the high mountain shit. Like,
right.
That you probably need longer than like a couple days, or yeah. Because, I mean, you know, like, how people are. Like, the moment people realize, like, that shit was bugged. Not High Mountain, like, the frags, I don't know, like... I assume people did this with High Mountain too, right? Like, you abuse the bug, and then you spend the currency immediately so that they can't roll back the currency, right?
Oh, so what you're saying is you rob the bank, and then you spend the money, and they have no receipts. Oh.
Yeah, so they can't take the money back. So I mean, like, that's just like, you're obviously just like abusing the system, right? Like, if you just accidentally like claim the extra frag, like somehow, I don't even know if it's possible, but if you just like accidentally claim the frags, right, or like you accidentally did whatever, and then you just like left it in your inventory, that's like a little more like innocent. Like, it's still not really believable, of course, but like it's a little more like, okay, like maybe this guy just like didn't realize, like maybe they forgot that it was like Tuesday reset or something like that. But if you buy, like, I mean, they can see your activity, right? Like, if you buy the flames and then you relog, reclaim, and like reset the shop or whatever, buy the flames again, and then you like type in your buddy chat or whatever, like, fuck it, roll it back, I didn't hit shit, boys, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you're definitely just not. You're clearly just like taking advantage of it. Like, there's no gray area there. It's not like you didn't know. Like, you're obviously just. You see the activity log where,
you know,
for some reason on Tuesday reset, somebody logged all their boss mules and instantly claimed night fragments through the shop. It's like kind of obvious what's going on.
Yeah. You know, I know some, like, you know, people were talking about this last night when I was up. Oh my god, just the amount of things that have happened in the past with this game, and the amount of attention that a lot of like content creators or like people of like quote unquote interest have said in the past. Like, I'm sorry, but I just always think of the infamous like Code Knox video where he said, hey guys, don't take advantage of the 60% Star Force whatever the fuck. Don't do it. If you do it, you're a bad guy and you're a fucking cheater.
No, hell no. I'm not like that. I mean, if it's in the game, like, you gotta abuse it.
No, I know, but I just think about like the funny shit from the past. Oh my god, it just makes me laugh so hard, bro. These people, like some of these people, bro, they're just so ridiculous, bro. And you know what's funny? Oh, sorry, go. No, I was gonna say, what's funny, the even funnier thing is when these people say this stuff. Oh my god, bro, they just treat you like they treat you like that you committed a murder. That's what they do. You know?
Actually, no.
And it's crazy,
dude. Like, obviously I know a lot of people who like abused it, right? I wouldn't love to see them get like banned. But it's also easier for me to say that I'm like kind of okay with it, because like for me, I would never see personally, I would never see them any differently. Like, if they get banned, I would just be like, yeah, I mean, you deserved it, all good. Like, we're still boys. Like, I don't really care.
You know what it is for me?
It's also like not my account, so I guess I'm a little more like
passive.
Because like I said, I didn't abuse it. I did my dailies and I did calling and then I went to bed.
Right.
I thought they were gonna roll back. So.
Right. You're talking about like the stuff that happened like last night.
Yeah, today. So it's for me, since I guess I don't really see a ban as like a mark against somebody's character, I'm okay with saying like. I'm okay with saying like I wouldn't mind seeing like my friends get banned for a couple days.
Right. And
like I feel like that would be like an unpopular opinion. People are like, no, you should always have your friend. I'm like, no.
Yeah. And honestly, man,
I don't care if you're my friend. Like, if you do something against the rules, I feel like you get banned. But it doesn't mean I'm not gonna be your friend. Like, what should you be?
Hey, man, you know what I'm gonna say, bro? Like, all I'm saying is, you're telling me, guys, when Go West is the most popular update for mad long, they're just gonna kill Go West by banning all their players and go back to Go East with the bans? Fuck no, bro. Go West, baby.
They're not gonna do they're not gonna do anything like too crazy, even though like, yeah. I mean, if they're not gonna ban, they at least need to make a statement that from now on it will like result in punishment. And I feel like, yeah, like they can do that without a ban, but to drive the point home, it would make it a lot more like it would drive the point home a lot better, obviously, if they were to issue like small bans for like the small abuses that happen. You know, like, yeah, it's against TOS, but like, yeah, exploiting is against TOS, but as we know from history, nobody fucking cares, right?
Right.
Obviously, that like it's obvious that since they don't punish, people feel like they can get away with it regardless.
Hear me out.
And so, like, if they say something,
oh yeah, go.
people will still feel like they can get away with it regardless if they don't see that they're gonna back up like their words.
Right, dude. The golden rule that everyone has to abide by, whether you're cheating in a video game, whether you're cheating on your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. The golden rule is, if you get caught, people will care. Bro, look at Dr. Disrespect. Did you see that shit yesterday?
Yeah, I did.
People, we don't gotta talk about his ass, right? We don't gotta talk about his ass, but all I'm saying is like, if you get caught in 4K Ultra HD edition, like, people will care. But if you don't get caught, if things get if things get swept under the rug, congratulations, my friend, you just got away with robbery. And in Maplestory, what robbery means is duping your droplets, duping your, I guess it is technically duping your fragment thingy-majiggers, or duping your meso, like, or whatever, like, all, like, maple relay, all this shit, right? This isn't really duping, but, you know, like, taking advantage of 60% event. Like, if that's in the game and people take advantage of it and every single person does it, I just don't think they're gonna ban everybody, but we'll see.
I don't think they will. Yeah, I mean, I would just hope they make a statement that like future actions like this will be punished, and if they ban people, it's one of those things. Like, again, I think I said it like at the start. Like, I wouldn't love to see them ban my friends. Obviously, like, I would still like my friends to be able to play the game, obviously, because it makes them happy. I don't want my friends to like be pissed off, but I would understand it if they did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it is what it is, right?
I don't want to see my friends banned, but I would understand it if they made a statement saying like, we don't want exploiting to be brushed under the rug anymore.
Please don't ban us. Don't ban me next on, please. Like,
and again, like, maybe because I'm like depersonalized from the situation, I don't feel as strongly about it, I guess.
Oh yeah, you definitely, trust me.
I'm sure people who abused it would call me a fucking retard and tell me to like hang myself, probably because like I'm wrong and for this and this reason, and they're probably just gonna like repeat the same shit of like, oh well, I didn't get any farther ahead. Like,
hear me out. It's the second half of what you just said. They could call you a retard. They could call you this and that and whatever bad names they're gonna call you, right? But all it comes down to at the end of the day is, this guy is now ahead of me. I am not ahead. That's all it comes down to for these people, for like 90% of people.
I'm saying that a lot of people, I think, would say to me like, oh, I didn't get any further ahead, I just got it sooner. And again, like we said before, like, I mean, okay, like, did you exploit or not? Yes or no? No, like, without saying but
yeah, like adding the extra
caveats.
Did you exploit
or not?
Yeah.
Is exploiting against TOS, yes or no?
Yes.
And like, the answer to both of those things is yes. And was it and like, trust me, like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I abused 60%. Should I have been banned back then? Probably, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm exempt from this rule either. Like, should I have been banned for abusing 60% Star Force for maybe a couple days? And the thing that I'm talking about right now, right, where they ban people for abusing a bug and saying like, we don't want this shit to happen anymore, should that have happened to me? Absolutely, it should have. 100% it should.
But did it? No, and we love it.
And I got away with it. You look at my achievements tab, my first 20, 21, and 22 stars. Oh, what date is it? Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So, I mean, I'm someone who got away with murder, and I'm saying, like...
So you're OJ. Is that what you're saying?
OJ.
So, like, in Lost Ark, right? There's tons of arm tiers, tons of botters, people botting, tons of people taking advantage of virtual machines, and tons of people who are arm teeing, right? And in a case like Lost Ark, and this is my opinion, in a case like Lost Ark, where there are so many players who play the game and who are taking advantage of these things, Smilegate and Amazon Game Studios, but it's really Amazon Game Studios, they can decide how severe they want to take advantage of, like, or not take advantage, but like punish the people who are breaking TOS, right? They can decide based off of what they decide, like, is within their discretion, I guess, because of the simple fact that two reasons, in my opinion. They have so many players already, and they have so many players that are ruining their bottom line, right? So in the context of those two equations, like those two facts, if you think about the context of what I just said in the context of Maple and these bugs that happen in the game, and you know, this is just what I think. Obviously I could be wrong, and you already said, like, it's objectively, like, it's a breaking TOS, blah blah blah, which is true. But from my perspective, the only time they would permaban or ban, which is what they did with Maple Relay, is when it is genuinely affecting bottom line of Maplestory. If it's
that's what I said at the start. Like, Maple Relay is totally different because, like, it involves Maple and shit.
Right, and the other facts
on reg server is like
right, exactly. You're ruining exactly, right? And the other fact of the matter is too is, let's just be honest, right? Like, the game is 100x smaller than Lost Ark, probably. I don't exactly know the numbers, obviously, but
yeah, and it might be kind of similar. But
maybe, yeah, maybe.
I mean, in Korea they're about even.
Right, they are even, but in this conversation, I'm just simply talking about, like, GMS specifically, right? So
yeah, I guess. I mean, like, you can compare it to WoW. Like, WoW is the same RMT botter problem, and WoW is definitely like 100 times bigger than Maple.
Right, and Blizzard definitely has measures that they take, and they ban people for RMTing and doing all that stuff. I'm pretty sure, because I have friends who've been banned for, like, all that shit, right? But it is what it is, right? When you're a small game, little indie game, okay, it's not an indie game, but when you're when you're a small little population known as GMS, right? And you have let's be honest, bro, like, how many people, like, I genuinely think, if we just throw out a number, 60% of the people online yesterday took advantage of the Fragment thing alone. You're telling me they're gonna temp ban 60% of the players? I just, like, obviously these are just random numbers I'm throwing out, but, like, I just don't see it happening, right? So, but we'll see.
I will say though, like, that is part of the problem. That mentality, like, it feeds into, like, people thinking that it's okay to exploit or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, like, if everybody does it, there's no way they're gonna punish me, so I'm just gonna fucking do it, right?
Right. Yep, you're right.
So, I feel like that's why I said, like, ideally, they do take action, and yes, it's a huge loss in the short term. Not gonna deny that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the long-term health and, like, showing that you actually care about cheaters and stuff, I feel like it's overall a net positive in the very, very long run.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh, man. I love Maplestory.
The game's too funny.
Game is too funny, bro.